What's going on, everybody? Checking in on Facebook and on IG. Tell me where you're checking in from in the comments section. We're going to get to it. We get into it in less than 1 minute. We ain't got time to waste here. We're getting straight to the business today. We're getting straight to the business every day, as a matter of fact. But I decided we're going to get even more straight to the business moving forward. I feel like I was slacking a little bit. So we're going to get even more straight to the business. As y'all coming in, shout yourselves out in the comments section. Tell me where you checking in from. We're going to get straight to what we need to get to. Then we're going to get out of here because we got things to do. I got 2 interviews today. And like I said, we're going to get to the business like I just told y'all. So those of y'all know me, my name's Dre Baldwin, 9-year pro athlete, author, 33 books, 4-time TED speaker. I created this whole brand called Work on Your Game. What we do here, I took all the stuff that I learned as a professional athlete, all the stuff that gets you to the top 1% in the sports world, and I created a system that translates that stuff from the sports world into the business world, and that's what I do. So I help professionals like you all do 3 specific things. There's a lot of stuff that we do, but the 3 outcomes: higher level of performance, consistency of that performance, and making more money. 1, 2, 3. You want to perform at a higher level, be more consistent, and make more money. You are in the right place. You're talking to the right person. So today, what we're going to talk about on that note is we're going to talk about how to get more serious about your business. So I hope all of y'all having a good week this last week leading up to Christmas holiday. And I know a bunch of you probably going to go on vacation this last week after Christmas. A lot of people go on vacations and you chill. Some of you are going to be working. Whatever it is you're doing, I hope you're feeling good, doing good. We're going to get into the topic here today because I know there are a lot of professionals here who tune into my stuff, whether you're following me on social platform, you listen to my podcast, maybe you read some of my books, maybe you get my emails, and many of you may not even call yourself a professional right now, but you plan on becoming one. So today we're going to talk about what are the things that you need to be doing now and later that reflect the seriousness of your business. Now, everything that I say here today is not an all-inclusive list, but these are some things that on a high level, top level, you need to make sure that you're doing. If you're not doing these things, then you are not taking your business as seriously as you need to be taking it. And if you're not taking your business seriously, then you should not have the expectation of your business treating you seriously, i.e., because the whole purpose of being in business is to make money. All right, that's the number one objective of a business owner, is to create revenue and income for the shareholders of your business. Now, if your business doesn't have any shareholders, like you're not a publicly traded company, then the number one shareholder is you. You are the shareholder in your business. So it is your number one objective. It is your duty and obligation as a business owner to create revenue in your business. And these are things that will lead towards that direction of you creating revenue in your business. So if you're not doing these things, then you're not taking your business seriously. And if you are violating these points, you need to think about why you're violating them. So let's get right into it. And these are things that any of you can do. You just might not be thinking about doing them. So here's point number 1, is you need to be reading. READ, read. This is the number one thing you need to be doing. You're running a business. What's going on, Jeremiah, over there on Facebook and on Instagram? Callier girl. Good morning to you as well. And who else left a comment? I think that was you. All right. Reading. What does this mean? When I say reading, it doesn't have to be something that's on paper. It can be, you can be listening if you like to take things in audio instead of looking at it with your eyes. But reading, what I mean is, since information is at the same time not the key to your success, that doesn't mean that information doesn't matter for your success. Information does matter. All right? It's not the only thing that you need, but it is one of the things that you need. So when I say reading, what I mean is you need to be consuming information that is specifically about your line of work so that you know what's going on in the industry. You know what the people who are playing at a higher level than you are doing in the industry. Maybe people who are on your same level, maybe they have some new idea or innovation or new trick that they're using that's actually working for them, that if you knew about it, you could use it. You got to be on point. You got to be in touch with what's going on. You got to have your fingertips on the pulse of what is going on in your industry. So whatever it is that you do professionally, you need to be consistently taking in information about what is going on in your industry so that you know what's happening. You got to know what's going on. You got to be outside. This is mentally the mental version of being outside. Is what I mean when I say read. Now, there's a physical version of being outside. That's being in the room at things like events and conferences in your industry. So there are certain industries like scientists, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, um, athletes, that there are certain events that they all know that if you're in this industry, you got to be at this event, because everybody who's somebody in this industry is there. They got to be physically in the room. So what I'm talking about here is the mental version of being in the room, which is you got to be on point with what's happening in your industry. Do you even know? Are there any publications in your industry that come out consistently every month, every couple weeks, whatever, telling people who do what you do what's going on? And if there are, why aren't you subscribed to it? Why aren't you paying to get that subscription? If there's any type of publication, whether it's a YouTube channel, a podcast, as nowadays sometimes they go in those directions, or something you can electronically subscribe to, or something that you physically subscribe to that is specifically for people in your line of work, why don't you know about it, and why aren't you getting it? If there's a conference happening in your industry every year or a couple times a year that is specifically about what you do for a living, why don't you have your ticket already for the 2023 event? If you're serious about your business, these are things that you need to be doing. If you're serious about anything, it doesn't have to be your specific line of work, but whatever you're serious about, you need to be in the room in those particular areas. So if you're serious about getting in shape, for example, what kind of material are you taking in that's helping you get into better shape, besides just telling yourself, I need to go to the gym? That ain't enough, because if that's all it took, then you wouldn't need to get in shape, right? You already be in shape. If you're serious about making money, how many publications are you subscribing to or buying or taking in that is telling you about making money? How many conferences are you already registered for next year when it comes to making money and generating business and doing more marketing? This is all about being informed. So when I say read, I mean this in a metaphorical sense and a literal sense, is that you got to be informed as to what's going on in the world that you're in and the world that you're serious about. If you're serious about your business, these are the kind of things that you do. So if nobody ever told you this, if you went to high school, you went to college, you got two parents, nobody ever told you this. All right, now I'm telling you. All right, this is part of your real life education. All right, work on your game. University education is that you must be plugged into what's going on. Your education did not end when you got out of school. Your education started when you got out of school. That's why the graduation ceremony in high school and in college is called commencement. You know what commence means? Commence means to begin. Look up the definition of the word commence, because a lot of people think that the commencement, when you graduate, that means no, is pretty much over. No, that means everything's just beginning. Definition of commencement is a beginning, a start. That's what it is. All right. So when you graduated, that meant it was time for you to start your real life education. You got the nonsense formal education. Now you're getting a real one. All right. So whatever industry you're trying to get in, or that you're already in, you got to know what's going on. And often it's not probably going to be on YouTube or a podcast or on TikTok or Instagram. It's in something that you got to sit down and read. Like you see these publications behind me, you got to sit down and read these things. You got to put time into it. Why? Because the serious people will take the time to do what the non-serious people will not take the time to do. That's why the material that you could get on Instagram or TikTok, anybody will consume that. And that's why the average people will do that, but the serious people do something more than that. So keep that in mind. Anything that you're doing that anybody could easily do and that most people do easily do because it's so easy, all right, that's not what's going to separate you from the masses. What separates you from the masses is when you are thinking along the lines and doing things that most other people in your space would not do. So ask yourself, what are you doing that fits that description? If you can't name anything, all right, that's something that you need to address. And you need to think about how you're going to address it like ASAP. Because we're in the last week of 2022. You need to be thinking about this stuff right now. This is not something that you just get around to whenever you get around to it. Remember that the opportunities are usually where everybody else is not going. So what are you going to be doing, such as going to the events, reading the information that other people ain't doing? Number two, we're talking about if you are serious about your business, what are the things that you're going to be doing? Second thing is you're going to invest in your business. If you are serious about your career, your business, whatever you do for a living, you will invest into your business. There are 5 forms of investment: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. Now, let me tell you what most people do, what the average people do when it's time for them to invest in their business, they resolve that they're just going to put more time into everything. Anytime something's not working, they're like, I'll just put more time into it. Let me just work on it a little bit more. Let me just do the same stuff in 2023 that I did in 2022, and hopefully that works out. All right, that's bullshit. That's not going to work. So if that's your plan right now, I want you to take that plan out of your pocket, wherever you wrote it down, and ball it up in a piece of paper, throw it in the trash can. And if you have it written down digitally, open up that document and select all and delete. All right, because that's not a plan. Putting more time into something that is already not getting you where you want to go is only going to take you further in a direction of where you don't want to be. And the thing is, you're going to run out of time. Time is your most valuable resource. You can't keep trading time for you can't keep trading time for a lack of knowledge or a lack of know-how and a lack of implementation. You need to use your other forms of investment. So let me give you a definition of invest. Straight out of the dictionary. This is the financial definition. To expend money with the expectation of achieving a higher profit or material result by putting it into financial plans, shares, or property, or by using it to develop a commercial venture. That last phrase, commercial venture, that means running a business. Commercial just means there's money exchange happening. All right, that's what investing means. You put the money out in order to achieve a profit on the back end. That's what it means to invest. If you are running a business, or you have a career or a profession, that means we're going to work every day to make money, right? All right, everybody here gets paid when you go to work. All right, nobody here works for free. Okay, so everybody here gets paid when you go to work. So that means if you want to get more money out on the back end, i.e. you want to make more money from your work, you got to put more money in on the front end. Here's the challenge for most of you is that you never put $1 into your career. So now you wonder why you're not making the kind of money that you want to make. Let me say that again. Most of you have never put a single dollar into your career or your business. And now you're saying to yourself that you want to make more money next year than you made this year. Well, how are you going to do that? You haven't invested in it. If you don't invest in something, how can you expect to get something out? It's like nobody walks into their bathroom, looks in the mirror and says, well, hey, I expect to have more muscles next year than I had this year, but you know what? I'm not going to go to the gym at all. I'm not going to get a gym membership. I'm not going to hire a trainer. I'm not going to lift any weights, but I expect to have more muscles next year than I had this year. That doesn't make any sense. So if you did that, they carry you off to a house and put you in a straitjacket, all right, and start medicating you if you actually believe that, right? So nobody does that when it comes to their fitness. You don't look at one of your friends or somebody who's not your friend, but you want them to be your friend and say, hey, this person's going to I'm going to have a great relationship with this individual, but you know what? I'm not going to invest anything into it. I'm not going to put any time into it. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to strike up a conversation. I'm not going to keep in touch, but this person's going to love me and we're going to be best of friends. That doesn't make any sense. If you didn't put the investment in up front, then you shouldn't expect anything on the back end. So those of you out there calling yourselves professionals, and we're being generous with the term, if you have not invested any money into your career or your business, then it makes perfect sense that you're not getting the money out of your career or business that you want. What have you invested into your business this year? What have you invested into your business this year? This is a serious question that you really should be asking yourself, because if that number doesn't sound right and you haven't invested into things that are actually going to help you get to the level that you want to get to, then you got a problem. The problem is you have a goal that is in conflict with your actions, and your actions and goals are in conflict, then you're not going to get the outcome that you want. That leads to frustration. Muno Degan, good morning. I appreciate you. So what are you investing in? All right, so putting this in layman's terms, put it in, you get something out. If you're serious about your business and career, you invest in your business and career. And by the way, even if you work at a traditional job, like you have an employer and you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, you invest in your business too. Or you invest in things. So if you work in an inside sales job, let's say for a company, Fortune 500 company, you take your money and you invest in a communications course so you can be better at selling. You invest in a course on mindset so you can be more mentally tough dealing with the fact that not everybody's going to buy your product. You invest in learning about discipline so that you can get on the phones when you're supposed to and make the calls you're supposed to every single day and make more calls than your competitors, your peers, so that you can make more sales and make more money for the company, which will in turn make you more money in the long run. So when I say investing in your business, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to do this. You should be thinking like an entrepreneur no matter where you work. Why? Because that company might not be around. That company might decide they don't want you around. Anything could happen. You need to be investing in your career and your business. Anything you're serious about, you need to be putting money in. So look at how much money you put into your career this year. And if that number don't sound right, then it makes perfect sense why you're at where you're at. And if you want to go somewhere different, you got to do something different. And this is the quickest way to do it, is to use your money to buy time. The way that you're buying time is because you are taking your money to achieve outcomes faster than you would if you just put time in, if you were ever able to achieve it putting time in. Because you don't know what you're doing. And then you just say, I'm going to put more time in. I hear this from people often. They're trying to run a business and they don't know what they're doing. And they just say, well, I'm going to put more time into the thing that I'm doing. Well, you don't know what you're doing. So if you put more time in, what's that going to do? All right, how can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing put more time into something to think they're going to get a different outcome? All you're going to get is more of the same stuff, right? Doesn't that just make sense? Question is, how do you determine what percentage to invest? You shouldn't invest on a percentage basis. You should invest on a value basis. Callie or girl, that's a good question. It's not about percentage, because what if you're making 20 grand a year and somebody else is making 200K a year? How are you going to get to the level that they're at? What you need to think about is, what are you actually investing in and what are you going to get out on the back end? What you need to think about is value, not price. So when you invest in yourself, you're not looking at the price tag and saying, man, that's more money than I am comfortable investing. The question is, if I make this investment, what do I stand to gain? That's the question. Because if I told you, you take your whole 20 grand that you made this year and next year you'll make 10 times that, 200 grand, would you invest 20 grand? If you knew that it was guaranteed to make you 200 grand next year? All right, almost everybody would say yes. But then you show somebody, hey, make this investment. They say, well, the price tag is too high. I don't really have that kind of money. Well, you're never going to have that kind of money if you don't invest in yourself. That's the point. This is the reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Because the rich, when I say the rich and the poor, I'm not talking about how much money they have. It's about a mindset. Rich and poor are mindsets. They're not dollar amounts. I talked about this in the last live that I did, or a couple weeks ago when I did the live. All right, that's how you decide what to invest. You got to look at the value. What do I stand to gain from this investment? Not how much it's going to cost me to make the investment. If you make all your decisions, listen, folks, if everybody in the world made all their decisions based on price, there would only be one store in the world, Walmart. How many of you shopped at Walmart for your Christmas gifts? If everything was based on price, everybody would just shop at Walmart. I mean, Walmart got the cheapest stuff, right? They got everyday low prices. They got the cheapest prices of anybody. Cheaper than Amazon, everybody, Walmart. How many of you have shopped at Walmart this holiday season for your friends, family, and loved ones? Probably none of you. So it ain't about price. It's about value. That's how you make your decision on what to invest in. Value is just a question of what am I going to get on the back end. So how much time are you investing? And again, the other 5 forms of investment. It's that time, money, attention, energy, and focus. 5 ways to invest in yourself. How much time are you putting into learning more about your line of work? Just getting better in knowing what's going on in your line of work. Even if it's not getting better, maybe you're good already. Are you investing in learning what's happening? Have you invested in going to events where the top players are going in your line of work? Whatever it is you do professionally, there's probably at least one event where everybody who is somebody in your industry goes to that event, physically goes to the event. My question is, did you go to that event this year? And if not, why not? If you consider yourself serious about what you do, why didn't you go to the event? There's no logical answer to this question. Why did you not go to that event? I don't care what you do. Somebody tell me what they do for a living. Somebody put in the comment section what you do for a living, on Facebook as well and Instagram. Put in the comment section what you do for a living. I guarantee you there is at least one event, physical location, in-person event for your line of work, at least one. It might be 10, that everybody who is doing something in your industry goes to that event. If you didn't go, the question you should be asking yourself is, why did you not go? I don't hear nothing about how much the ticket was. The only logical excuse is a death or a birth. Those are only 2 excuses I accept from anybody about not being in a room at something that you say you're serious about. Death or birth. That means if you had a kid or somebody died. That's it. And the person who died better have been like very close to you. All right, some funerals you can skip. Hey, I'm just being honest. Look. So what industry? I'm waiting for somebody to give me an answer to that, but I'm gonna move on to point number 3. We'll come back to that in a second. Topic here today is, if you're serious about your business, these are the things you'll be doing. Number 3, you got to be planning. You have to make a plan. a plan. If you follow my story on Facebook or IG, you hear me talking at the end of every month. What do you always hear me talking about? What you always hear me talking about is writing out your goals for the next month. So now we're at the end of December. So I'm talking about two things: goals for January and your goals for 2023. Because you should be having goals every week, every month, and every year. You need to have goals. Goals are simply, here's what a goal is, folks. A goal is a plan for future success. That's what a goal is. Is you decide, you saying, this is what I'm going to achieve in the future. And this is not actually saying how you're going to achieve it, but you can make your goals do all that. Your goal is saying, this is where I'm going to be in the future. The plan is, how you're going to get from here to there. What are you going to actually do? And again, I just told you your 5 forms of investment: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. And don't just think you're going to put more time into it when, babe, can you start the toast over, please? Don't just think you're going to put more time into something if you don't know what you're doing. That doesn't make any sense. All right, that's an inaccurate formula. That's not going to work. If you don't have the knowledge or insight or information to get to the level that you want to be at in your business right now, that means you need to put money into getting that information and getting that insight. Then you put in time, energy, attention, and focus. Don't put time, energy, attention, and focus into something you don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know how to fix a car, for example, right? So if something goes wrong with my vehicle and I decide, no, I'm gonna just put time into this. I'm gonna just work harder on it. I'm gonna just be more focused. I'm gonna be more disciplined. Let me just get more motivated. Let me go watch a hype up Les Brown, Eric Thomas video on YouTube and get myself motivated. Then I'm gonna go work on the car. Is that gonna fix anything? No. All right, my car is still not gonna work because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So instead, here's what I do. I go get some money and I pay somebody who knows what they're doing and let them fix it. And it'll get fixed a lot faster. And I don't even have to get myself motivated to do it. This is how investment works, people. And this is why accurate formulas matter so much, is that sometimes people take the stuff that I say on the surface and they say, well, I'm just going to apply that part because it's convenient for you. But the thing is, you're going to still be in the same spot because you're applying the information the wrong way. So there's an order of operations. Like, any of you ever cook something, you know how you get a recipe? When you get a recipe, the recipe says do this first, then this, then this, then this. It's like if you're baking a cake, it says preheat the oven to 400 degrees. And at the end of the recipe, you put everything that you mixed up into the oven. But what if you just preheat the oven and then you just take the pan with nothing in it and put it in the oven? Now, that is one of the instructions, but you did it in the wrong order. So you're not going to get a cake because you didn't put the eggs, the batter, the salt, the butter, the sugar. You didn't do any of that. You skipped steps. This is the problem that happens when people don't have accurate formulas. But at my next event, Work on Your Game Live, which if you're watching on Facebook or IG, you see the link to that. All right, we're going to cover all that. We're going to cover how to have an accurate formula because that's how you create a strategy. See, a goal is saying this is where I want to be. You're here right now. How do we bridge the gap between these two things? We call that strategy. And at Work on Your Game Live, we're going to be talking about mindset, strategy, systems, and execution at that event. So in the strategy section on day 1, we're going to talk about that. We're going to kind of talk about all of them the whole time because everything mixes in together. None of these is on their own. Mindset goes through everything. Strategy goes through everything. Systems, execution, all these things go through everything. So the plan. Anything you're serious about, you make a plan for. You strategize for how it's actually going to happen. You don't just randomly show up every day and hope that things work out. This is how many people operate their whole career. They just show up every day, hope the stuff works out, and if either it works or it doesn't, then they just keep doing the same stuff. And 10, 15, 20, 40 years go by and it's over. I just described most people's entire adult lives. Everything I just said. So if you have kids, for example, did you plan for your kids when they were coming? Even if you weren't planning to have a child, but as soon as you found out it was coming, like as far as we know with humans, it takes about 9 months for a kid to come, right? So you had 9 months to get ready. All right. Now, when you knew your kid was coming, what'd you do? You probably bought a crib, you bought a stroller, you got some baby clothes. Even if you didn't get it, somebody gave it to you, right? You told your mom sent some baby clothes, your friends threw your baby shower, you went to the doctor, you had a pediatrician. All right. Most people do something when you know you got a baby on the way, right? If you're about anything you're about to do that you're serious about, you start actually getting ready for the thing. All right, if you're about to move, what do? You go get some boxes, you go get a moving truck or hire some movers. You start putting your stuff, you start packing your stuff up. You start putting in the change of address. All right, don't mail it here anymore, mail my stuff here. You start doing things to get ready for it. Anything you're serious about, you start planning for the activity. If you're serious about doing more in your business next year, what are you doing now to get ready for it? What are you doing to actually strategize and plan for this? And let me throw you a life preserver here for those of you who don't have an answer to this question, is that you don't have to come up with all the answers yourself. All right, trying to come up with all the answers yourself is a failing proposition because nobody has all the answers. This is the reason why humans are humans. This is the reason why we have social media. It's one of the good things about social media is that you can interact with and engage other people who know things that you don't know. All right, that's the value. That's one of the good things about social media. Social media is not all perfect, but this is one of the good things about it is that you can engage with other people who know things that you don't know. So you can borrow another person's brain to solve your problem. Now, why would another person let you borrow their brain? Usually because you're paying them. All right, this is how you use money as an investment vehicle to get what you want. All right, this is what we call sales. All right, people, you see these books back here? I sell these books, coaching programs, courses, events, conferences. People charge you money, you pay money, you get the information, you achieve your outcomes faster, you make more money. Everybody wins. So we call this the economy. The problem is the economy can't go if nobody is making interactions, nobody's making exchanges, nobody's making transactions. And some of you don't have much of an economy going on because you ain't making any exchanges. You're trying to put time into everything. You ain't got enough time to put in everything. Nor do you have the knowledge that your time is actually worth anything. This is why you use money. So you can get information that you don't have. All right, this is what investment is about. Again, so anything you're serious about, business folks, your plans need to be written down. They need to be committed to paper. What exactly are you doing? How are you doing it? When are you doing it? Where are you doing it? Who are you doing it with? Now, all of these things need to be on paper. If they're not written down, I don't think that you're serious. Have you sat down and actually written out plans for the success that you plan on achieving? And understand that your plans don't have to be perfect. No plan is perfect. No plan is perfect. Amazon's plan when Jeff Bezos started the company was not perfect. Steve Jobs' plan for Apple was not perfect. Barack Obama's plan for being president was not perfect. But once you start acting and start taking steps on the thing that you're doing, you can modify your plan along the way. But you do need to have a plan. All right. 97% of people don't have any plans. They have goals. No, 97% of people don't have goals. Most people don't have goals. But the people who have goals, about the 10% of the population who set goals, and that's being generous, 97% of them don't have a plan for reaching the goal. So they have a goal, like I want to basketball players, I want to play in the NBA. Well, what's your plan or strategy to get there? They don't have one. Somebody says, well, I want to lose 30 pounds next year. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of being on the beach with a shirt on. Okay, what's your plan or strategy for doing it? They don't have one. Or they'll say, well, I'm just going to put more time in. I'm just going to get more motivated. I'm going to go to the gym. Did you say that the last 5 years? That ain't enough. This is why you use your money, folks. Use money to borrow other people's brains. If I can give y'all one thing that you could take with you in the next year, and I talk about this stuff all the time on my podcast. My podcast is called Work on Your Game, by the way, is that especially in the Black and brown communities, I know this to be true. I got 40 years of experience, is that a lot of Black and brown people don't have the mindset around using your money to advance yourself further, faster. If I can give you one thing you can do, if you're serious about your business, is that use your money to advance yourself further, faster. And some of your objections right now, I know what's going through your brain right now, is that you don't have a lot of money. I know. All right, that's the reason. The reason why you don't have a lot of money is because you didn't know what I just told you. If you just start following what I just told you, I guarantee you'll make more money next year than you did this year. That's all. I just gave all of you a tip to make more money. I don't care how much you made this year. You will make more money next year if you simply do what I just said. Let me say it again. And anybody got a question, put it in the comment section. I'm going to take a couple questions, then we're going to wrap up. Use your money to advance yourself further, faster. What that means is, like this year, I can't even say, I shouldn't say spent. I invested tens of thousands of dollars into my business this year. I invested more into my business this year than I had any year previously. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2015. Well, first full year was 2016. I invested more money into my business this year than I did any other year. And why? To advance further, faster. You will achieve more by using your money to get access to information, insights, and people than you will doing everything on your own and only using time. Time is a limited resource. Money is an unlimited resource. When you run out of time, your life is over. You run out of money, you can come back from that. You can lose a lot of money, spend a lot of money, make a lot of money in a very, very short period of time? Any of you ever made a lot of money in a very short period of time? Okay. Any of you ever lost a lot of money in a short period of time? Everybody has. None of you has ever gained or lost a whole bunch of time in a short period of time. That's impossible. Time is steady. It moves at the same rate for everybody, no matter what you do. So one thing, let me say it one more time. Any questions, put in the comment section. I'm going to recap these points. Use your money to advance yourself further, faster. That means if someone has information or insights or a process or a system or a strategy that can help you achieve your goal better than you have been able to achieve it, use your money to get access to that. You will achieve more. You'll do it a lot faster and you will make more money. If you want to make more money, you have to use your money. So y'all hear that phrase, it takes money to make money. It's not always true, but in some cases it is true. What it takes to make money actually is value. All right. The reason that you are willing to pay for something because of the value. The reason you're willing to pay $10 for a burger and fries is because you're hungry. So you're willing to give up your $10 to get it. All right. Value makes money, not money. But you use your money to buy time, achieve outcomes faster. Appreciate you, Wizarte. So let me recap these 3 points and then we're going to be out of here. So the topic here today is if you are serious about your business, 3 things you need to be doing. Number 1, you need to be consuming information about what is going on. You got to have your fingertip on the pulse of your industry. Whatever's going on in your industry, you need to know what's happening. If there's an event for people in your industry, whatever industry you're serious about, or the thing you're serious about making money, for example, that's not an industry, but whatever event is going on about making money, you need to be there. You need to be going to these places. And why? Because number 1, you're going to get the information and the insights. Number 2, you're going to get the energy and the inspiration. Number 3, you're going to meet the other people who are playing the game. You need to be around other people who are playing the game like you're playing the game, who are playing it better than you, so you can learn. All right. You can't do all this from Instagram, folks. You can't do this through fucking TikTok. You need to be going into the room and putting money into your business if you're serious about it. At least this is the second point. You need to be investing in yourself. To invest means to expend money with the expectation of achieving a profit or material result by putting into financial plans, shares, or property, or by using it to develop a commercial venture. Commercial venture, in other words, is a business. If you are not putting money into your career, then it makes perfect sense you're not making the kind of money you want to make. You're not investing, but you're expecting to get something out. It's like you don't throw any fire into the fireplace, and you're wondering why the fireplace ain't hot. All right? It makes no sense. All right? You're not putting any time in. You're not going to the gym and working out. You wonder why you don't have a six-pack. And you're not in shape and you had to walk up a flight of stairs and you damn near died because you're not putting in time in. If you're not putting in the investment, you should not expect to get anything back out on the back end. So that's the second thing, is you need to be investing in yourself. And the third thing you need to be doing, if you are serious about your business, is you need to be making plans and strategies for achieving your outcomes. If you do not know how to craft a plan or strategy to achieve a specific outcome, which you probably don't because you haven't achieved it yet, then you need to go find someone who already has achieved it, get their plan or strategy. They already know how to do it. Usually these people call themselves coaches or consultants or speakers or authors. They will gladly help you strategize to achieve a success. You're going to give them money. They're going to give you what you need. You will achieve your outcome faster. And again, one thing you take away from this live, if nothing else, use your money in 2023 to achieve your goals faster, to go further and to get there faster. Use money. All right, stop trying to hold on to your money. It's worth less every day because of inflation. Every day your dollar buys less things than it bought yesterday. That's just a economic fact. Your dollar is worth less every single day. It does less every day that you hold on to money. I'm not telling you to just give everything away to be broke, but you need to be using your money to create value. All right. They say it takes money to make money. No, it takes value to make money. And the reason why you give your money up for something is because of the value you're going to get in exchange. So if you want to make more money next year, you need to be looking at the value of what you can get by using your money. That's the equation that you need to have. And all you black and brown folks, I know this, I know it too well. All you black and brown folks, I know a lot of your parents and your environment and your friends don't have this mentality of what I'm talking about here. This is the change. This is the move out of your comfort zone that's going to change everything in your life, in your business, and in your career, if you are willing to do it. Now, if you don't do it, listen, you can keep living the way you've been living, or the way that your parents lived, or the way that the people in the community that you come from live. You keep living like that if you want to. If you want to do something different, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the game. All right, this is the game. If y'all look around and y'all see people of other colors and other backgrounds living different and doing different as a whole, I'm not saying any one individual, but as a whole, and you wonder what the difference is, this right here is one of the biggest ones. This that I'm telling you right here. Use your money to go further, faster. Stop holding on to your money like you're never going to get another dollar. Money exists in unlimited quantities. The government literally prints it every single day. It's just a piece of paper, and it's worth less every single minute. Your dollar that you had when I started this live is worth less now than it was 30 minutes ago. That's an economic fact. So use your money to get value. That will make you a lot better. It will make you more money in 2023. And at the end of next year, you come back, you can thank me. All right. So all that said, let me see a couple questions here. Callie, your girl says, it makes sense. Thank you so much for the knowledge and dropping your knowledge time. Well, I appreciate you. Get your ticket to Work on Your Game Live. That's the last thing I can tell everybody. My next event is Work on Your Game Live. It's February 3rd and 4th in Miami. Get your tickets at that link, workonyourgame.live. It's in the comments on Facebook and is in my bio on Instagram. Wizarte said, how do you remain consistent before seeing the ROI? Tune into the Work on Your Game podcast. I did an episode on that probably about 3 weeks ago. How to stay consistent when consistency is not working. That's the title of the episode. I'm going to see if I can get that number for you. Wizarte, just look up in your podcast app. Look up Work on Your Game. That's the name of my show. And I'm going to tell you the number because I know I did this episode. Episode 2378. How to be consistent when consistency isn't working. Right here, November 17th. Episode 2378. See that right there? Wizarte, that's for you. Episode 2378. All right. I am Sasha Sims. I appreciate you. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap this up. I got a couple interviews coming up today. Next one is at 11 o'clock, so I got to eat lunch. Then we'll get to some more business. And that's that. Everybody, workonyourgame.live. Get your ticket to that event. It's coming up February 3rd and 4th. I just told you, use your money to invest in advancement. All right. The people who advance the furthest, the fastest, what they do is not work harder than you. They're not smarter than you. They're not more inspired or motivated than you. They don't have opportunities that you don't have. They simply use money where most of you are trying to use time and knowledge that you don't even have. And that doesn't make sense. You're using an inaccurate formula. They're using an accurate formula. That's the big difference. So if y'all take one thing away, I said it like 5 times. I ain't gonna keep saying it. Everybody have a great day. Work on your game. We are out of here.